Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
8:00. Glad to have you with us.
We made it.
Happy second cup time. Yeah,
You
we
okay?
have made it. Yeah, I'm a little, I don't feel so great today.
No.
That's all right.
Just where I make a comment that you
Power
don't look
through.
so great, but I wouldn't do that.
Not where you do that.
See, I didn't do it. I just.
Yeah, you really didn't do it. Good job. It's just been a busy week, and Ed hasn't been here. And then like towards the end of reading a show by yourself, you kind of like start to
Absolutely
lose your voice a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's all
yeah,
good.
and Thursdays are generally tough,
Yeah.
because like we don't sleep all week, and then it's the end of the week.
Then you don't sleep on Friday either, and then
just
cycle continues.
It's a.
I'm sure you guys are with us. Have you ever had those
Vicious
sleepless
cycle.
weeks? Gosh, those are tough. It all comes back around.
You
at
look
some point.
great, Katie.
Uh-huh.
You're-
How about I told Aaron that I needed to put some more blush on? He picks up this lipstick and goes, "Is this it?" I was like, "No, but thank you for your help."
I would have put that on. Would that have really
It's been such
accentuate your cheeks?
It's been such a pleasure having you here. You've been so helpful in so many ways.
Well, what
Oh,
is
God.
is that the one with the brush?
Yeah, brush,
Okay.
little rouge.
I would not have known. If you would have said, go get it for me, I would have not known what I was looking for.
Just bring back everything.
Everything I found in like
Uh-huh.
both bathrooms.
Uh-huh.
There you
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we were talking about earlier today and kind of the past few days, getting a tax return. What do you do with it? And the number one thing people tell us is that they're worried about retirement. This is the number one financial issue we hear from people. So my thought was, let's take then something that you might be able to get some money with, your tax return, and put it towards the number one issue that you guys tell us is your number one issue.
Okay.
Retiring. So I went to go talk to a financial expert, and he gave me 3 tips for if you get a refund. Now, listen, I know not everybody gets one. I know whatever, but like I figure like every little bit helps, and if we can help some people, maybe here's what we do. John, you put that sound in from this guy? Oh, you don't have the sound? It's fine. I can tell you what he says. I'm just going to pull it up so I don't misquote him. But so, what'd you say? Oh, okay. Then Aaron can drop it in. All right. So what would you do, I guess, with your tax return if you got it? Are you a quick spender or are you a set myself up for the future? I know what you are.
Yeah, well, I had to pay. So Monday was a sad day. But I try to do that. I try to plan it so I don't get money back because
Fair.
I'm not a fan of giving people free loans. So.
That's true. And a lot of people try to get it pretty close to zero.
Yeah, so I just owed this year.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do?
We were pretty close to zero. We had a little bit of a return. And really, I should follow this guy's advice because he gives you 3 different things that you should do with your return to try to set yourself up for the future.
So what are you going to do? You're going to go on a spending spree, perhaps buy Bandit a friend?
Oh, God, that sounds so cute. Diane says hers wasn't enough to worry about, so she stuck it in the bank. Howard says, bank it, save it for a rainy day. That's what I did right now.
That's the spirit, Howard. Yeah.
That's what I did right now. So we'll pull up the soundbite from this guy once it gets into the system. But the 3 things that he said, the first was, if you have credit card debt. And you were like shocked at how high some of the credit card interest rates are.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
He was saying, what did I say, 29%?
29%.
Some of them are that high. If your credit score is under 700, the guy was like, they try to really get you. So he's like,
cause and effect, right?
Number 1,
Yeah.
Pay that down if you can. Get rid of that credit card debt if you can. 2 was, what was the second one? I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm zonked. Number 2 is, your emergency fund.
Emergency fund, 3 months or 6 months.
Which is like throw it in the bank.
I'll try to help you here because I know your throat's hurting. And I did listen to these this morning. So.
Yeah. And number 3 was
straight up savings.
Pay yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Throw it into your retirement.
And he used an example of $3,000. So you took 1,000, 1,000, and 1,000.
Yeah.
And
boom.
feel free to treat yourself to it. It is your money. And if you want to go to dinner or
I
something,
agree.
Don't feel guilty about that. Like you have to live. But that credit card debt, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
22% if you have good credit, and then 29% if you do not.
So Barbara says when she gets money back, she pays down her credit card debt or puts it in her savings. Oh, Catherine, good morning. It's her first time watching. Glad to have
thanks,
you.
Catherine.
Let us know if you got a tax refund, what you would do with the money.
This is what we do on Second Cup. It's a lot more
It is
chill.
a lot. Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sherry said she had to pay, but if she had a return, she put it toward a home improvement. Okay, I like a good capital improvement on your home.
Yeah, it's something that you can at least enjoy, especially like the kitchen, what you see, you're in a lot, something like that.
I know we always talk about how much of a bummer it is when you have to pay for something that's like Nobody gets to see it.
Like we had to clear the pipe to the street.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Like that's a boring one.
That is the work. And
We
then
had to
that
get
was no
like a
fun.
new hot water tank the one time. Like,
We had to do that too.
not like, oh.
Last year was a tough one. It was like boom, boom, boom
Yeah.
with that kind of
We
stuff.
had hot water tank and furnace last year. I'm gonna knock on wood so we don't,
Yeah.
but like and that's not fun. It's like, hey, Aaron, it's Katie. You guys want to come over, have a glass of wine, and look at my hot water tank? And
Sure, I'll bring you pictures of my new hot water tank.
Ooh, and then, oh yeah, that's a nice one. Like that's so boring.
I don't know. Is Bandit going to be there licking my face? Because I don't know.
You know he will.
I know.
My sweet darling baby. Catherine, if you're just joining us, Bandit is my dog.
Bandit's her dog.
It's
The
not
other
a-
day came into the station and was like, "Oh, Uncle Aaron," and just drooled all over me. I had to dry clean my suit.
If my dad wasn't so much like you, I'd be like, where do you come from? But my dad says the same kind of stuff. He always goes, Kate, why is this dog licking me? I'm like, because he likes you. He's a dog. That's what
But
they
I
do.
said, and then your husband's like, "Oh, guess you don't like being licked by a dog." Like,
Yeah.
no, I did not want to be
Well,
kissed by your dog so passionately. But see you later, Bandit.
hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Mary had to get a new hot water tank, a new furnace, new central air. Oh my
Ooh,
God,
that's a tough
Mary.
year, Mary.
You got
Sorry.
hit. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. It does. So it all happens because the house, if it's built and they put it in there and boom, they all kind of fall apart at the same time.
Howard last year got a new roof for $13,000, but said the peace of mind was priceless. That's fair.
That's a good price too, Howard. I've been checking out prices.
That is a good price, yeah.
and I might have to DM you after the show with like who you use.
Let Aaron know where you got your roof from.
Yeah, because you know what I'm seeing too, and I'm sure if you drive through like your neighborhood and you start to see a lot of people in your neighborhood getting the new roof,
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh no, all these
how much
houses are built
longer
around
can
the
I
same
wait?
time.
Yeah.
Mary says if I get a refund, I dance around the house. She always pays.
Yeah,
Catherine
Mary.
bought a new living room set. Okay, so John pulled up the soundbite from our financial expert. John, can you play that for everybody so he gives us a real rundown here?
3 things that you can do. Number one, if you have any credit card debt, do your best to pay that down. Rates are soaring. A lot of the average across the nation is 22%, but there's a lot at 29%. If your credit score is under 700, that's where they're gonna bill you at. Number two, set up an emergency fund. We all saw COVID came so quickly, and people were losing jobs and staying home, and they don't have that extra money set aside. At least 3 months, hopefully 6 months. That if something did happen or you're injured and you're waiting for workers' comp to kick, whatever it might be, you have that. And of course, number three is you have to save for yourself too. So let's say you have a $3,000 tax return, $1,000, pay down some credit cards, put some money in an emergency fund, and then have $1,000 that you start building that retirement account.
So there you go. Some good options there.
So I'll show you a little picture of a budget right there. That's always smart to do too. When you do sit down and budget, you're like, wow, there's a lot of money that just goes like boom right there. But this is my treat to myself.
That's true. Well, you have to treat yourself a little bit, not too much, in my opinion. Okay, like Ed is usually, and you guys know this. He's like,
Oh, he's different from us.
treat yourself. Yeah. He's like Parks and Rec. Treat yourself.
My favorite is when he's like, oh, last weekend in Napa, we just had the best meal. I was there. So I was like, hey, was it like your meal in Napa? So yeah.
Last weekend in Napa. Yep. Like it is. It's true.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Paul and I went to the same restaurant we go to every week again the other day.
I go to the same one twice a week. Yeah,
We're
for
a
the
little
lunch
lame.
special. Yeah.
Okay, can we just talk about what everybody? It's so nice to hear that you're not alone in some of this stuff. Okay, so like Naomi, Noreen, sorry, $22,000 for foundation repair.
That's the worst too, because it's not like you can enjoy it. Like, oh look, there's the patch in
Let us know
basement.
if you want us to
Sorry,
come over for a
Noreen.
glass of wine to look at your new foundation, because like that's how I feel when
And I'll
stuff
bring
like this
pictures of my
happens.
new water tank.
And
Yeah.
I'll show you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we sided the front of our house. Yay. Okay. Della said she needs a new fence. She needs her house painted. Carol had to replace her garage door opener. Sherry's talking about those on-demand hot water tanks. Did you get an on-demand one or did you get a regular
No,
one?
it was, what, when you priced them out, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
listen,
one's
we're down to-
deductible.
yeah.
That's nice to know.
But you're in we're down to you've got one kid. Like, you know what you can do? You can wait 10 seconds for the water to get hot. That was my theory on that one. But I guess they're really good if you're going to resell the house. I don't know.
James says he got $1,000 back in taxes, but his accountant charged him $1,700.
Yep.
Oh God. Jeanette says the emergency fund is key. She always has that. Julie says no emergency fund here. Peter says refunds were always used to catch the kids. Always used to catch the kids. Peter, you have to tell me what that means. I'm a little confused. Catherine says she loves Ed. Lori says, have you heard scammers mess with the 911? So there was a 911 outage in 4 different states, like over towards the west.
Yeah.
They
Was
still,
it a cyber attack?
yeah,
or-
last I heard, they were still trying to figure out what exactly led to it. So I'm not really sure. Jeanette says, oh, yeah, let's start an evening third cup and we can go to everybody's homes. James
Well,
says
you got to
he's
come
Ed
early.
Carpe Diem Dranch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hilarious. Love that. Okay, so there are some really good ideas. I don't know, I started with my retirement stuff when I was brand new and
Yeah.
into the workforce. And again, you don't want to lose that free money if you have a 401k. So you just pay into it and then hopefully never even realize that, you're missing it.
That's what I tell the kids in the newsroom.
Yeah.
Just put it in there. Oh, I don't have any extra money. Dude,
Oh my
look
God.
at your desk.
Who did you say that to the other day when they said I don't have any extra money? You say, let me see your budget and what you
Oh,
paid
Taylor.
for. Taylor.
She's like,
Taylor.
no, I don't want to see
Yeah,
it.
let me see your all your expenses for the past. She was like, no.
Oh, I've got extra money.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Tracy says an emergency fund is key, and Barbara says, yeah, that's a really good idea, Jeanette. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So there we go. Everybody, any more financial
Advice from Katie.
for us would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jeanette, Shirley has wine to share. That sounds good. Oh, Peter is saying the kids always needed something, and then you'd like catch up with that at text. You found that before too. Like you might get like a little bit of money back, and then your kids need something that you weren't anticipating. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, the kids always need something.
Mhm.
That's why, Peter, I feel for you. I was just telling you, this morning is my son away at school and just the rent. And I'm like, I've been paying rent and just grumble. Yeah.
A lot of grumbling here today. Mary says us retirees are going back to work. What does that say about it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel for you,
Howard
Mary.
is always hitting us hard with the good financial advice. Start a Roth. It's taxed when you deposit, not when you withdraw, like a 401k, and that's a good option. And we were talking about that the other day.
We did talk about the Roth IRAs yesterday and the 401k. I think, Howard, for us, for simplicity's sake, with like coworkers, you go to your website, you click match, and you walk away.
Right.
You can set that for, whatever fund you want. Say you want to retire in 2050, you put it in that one. That's my trying to encourage my coworkers, because your company matches, you're just leaving free money, and then that compound interest, which you don't think about when you're 22, but you will when you're 52, and you'll have 30 years of growth. It just changed. It's a game changer for my coworkers.
Tracy's got an Ed statement. Hopefully we don't die before we retire, because that's exactly what he would say. He'd be like, I just ain't gonna know. I like
well,
that.
he's living up. Who knows where he is right now?
Yeah. Howard says, I missed out on the Roth and I regret it.
Yeah.
Julie says, I don't have a savings, but at least I'm not in debt.
There you
That's
go,
very
Julie.
true.
Good for you.
And Justin says, be your own bank. Nice.
Oh, maybe he says that be your own bank stuff because he's into Bitcoin.
Maybe. Aaron loves a good crypto.
I do.
The financial guy did not love a good
Did
crypto.
not,
So
which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think many financial people or banks like crypto.
So when you're a secret millionaire,
Well,
you can be
you
like,
want to keep it a secret.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Let's talk about vacations. Do you guys prefer
perfect.
when you take a vacation to fly or drive? Because we got a new survey.
Oh,
And
so
what do you think most people prefer?
well, I think because flying is a lot more difficult now. I think that people want to do driving.
You're right.
And I think, like, I had to go to Albany last summer, and they were like, "Yo, we can fly you here," because my court cases.
Yeah,
And
no.
I'm like, flying from Buffalo to Albany and then renting a car to go to the courthouse.
Would you even fly from Buffalo to Albany?
Yeah, they have some flights, but
Do they really?
they're hard to
Yeah.
match up with your schedule.
Seriously.
And you got to get, like, I said, I'd probably be quicker there driving. Plus, I don't want to wait around. So I just drove.
All right. So 3/4 of people say they prefer taking a road trip when they go on vacation.
Yeah.
20% say they prefer traveling by plane. Here's why people like road trips. They check out the landscape, they listen to music, they get a break from their routine, and they actually like driving. They feel that they enjoy it.
I don't like driving. I don't mind it. I do like listening to music. And I do like now that we've discovered podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
I know they've existed for a long time, but I have recently stumbled across them. And I
You
have
in your world.
found that they make your drive go by so much quicker.
So
we listened to a lot of podcasts last year on our drive to
my
Florida.
husband's family, Florida, that's a long drive. My husband's family lives in Connecticut. So we have never flown there, actually. We have always driven. When Paul
I don't
and
think there's direct flights to like Hartford or anything like that.
There's not.
No.
There's really not. There might be like one, really not. They live near this. There's an airport there called like Bradford or something like that. But to get there, you have to go to like Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. Or, like it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
So if Paul and I are going together, we drive. I have flown into New York City airports before. Like when we were still dating and he was living there, he would pick me up from there. But then like it's a pain. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you get stuck in New York City traffic.
You're stuck in the
It's
city.
a hot mess.
When when we went to Connecticut for when we were doing all the school checking out, I remember thinking, this is like really tough to get here.
Yeah.
Driving, you're
it
just
is.
driving forever. Well, you would know better than we do. And then
It's
you're like,
6.5
you're there.
hours,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
Okay. Tamara says it depends on how far away she's going, and 5 hours is her max there.
5? Okay.
Justin says it depends on the destination. Kim says fly and rent a car if she's going to be far.
Kim, I'm with you.
You like that idea?
I love that idea. And I don't know if you folks who fly, I'll try, even if it's not my destination site, if it's a direct flight, I'll take that rent a car and drive the last like 100 miles.
Really?
So
okay.
like when we go to
A little
Florida,
combo.
I'll check out Tampa, Fort Myers, and Fort Lauderdale. Not Miami, because that is the worst airport ever. Oh my gosh. And so I will check those airports, and then whatever one it works, we'll rent a car and drive from there.
Well, Anita only had one option for this trip because she's coming to Alaska. So she's got to fly.
That's
Marguerite
awesome.
likes flying.
Yeah.
Bob likes driving for the flexibility. I like driving like in a trip that could be a quick either or, and flying. I sometimes feel like it's less of a hassle to drive.
Like, say Cleveland. I mean, obviously, you drive. Detroit. Yeah, you're on the fence there. I mean, that's like what, 6 hours.
I would drive.
Yeah, I think so too. I love what Bob says. Having the flexibility, having your car there.
And you can stop.
Something
and do
happens
stuff.
if you want to,
I don't know. That's it. Mary says she likes to drive. She can see surroundings. Howard says in a hurry, fly. Got the time? Drive. Driving gives you so much more, and you can see the views. Justin, what was he saying is a super quick flight?
Maybe that's Albany or Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what he's talking about. Oh, Bob's offering us another. Take the train.
You know what? My parents love the train. They do that all the time.
Diane says she's high risk. They drive if possible. Haven't flown since COVID. Kevin says cost me more to file this year than he said he got back in New York. Sorry, I thought he said cost him more to fly, but he meant file. Peter says definitely fly. If I drove, I get lost in seconds. My patience will be tested. You know what? You kind of want another person there when you're driving also. You don't. John doesn't. You don't.
Yeah.
You're right. Like if I'm going to visit my friends and I know it's going to be a 4 to 5 hour drive, I'm cool with that. If we go past 5 hours, then I kind of want Paul to be there too.
Okay, I respect that.
It's
But
like it just gets a little long, I think.
I don't want to stop.
Let's see here. No, let me ask, when you guys do a road trip, what do you eat on the road? Do you stop and get food, or do you pack food? Because Paul and I are light years apart on this one.
You know what? I'm a stopper. I'll prefer to get gas and food, stretch the legs, make that happen. I tell you, I'm pretty, like, looking back, my kids they do it pretty quickly. Like, they know the drill. Like, we're getting out of the car, get in line, know what you want to eat. You've had 4 hours to think about it. And then, get your food. And we eat in the car, though. Like that I like to do.
Oh, okay. So Paul says if you're doing a road trip that you deserve fast food. And he's like, this is like, because we really don't get a lot of fast food. So he's like, this is your treat to yourself. Road trip, you stop and you get like a burger or you get something like that. I pack a sandwich. I pack my snacks.
I like the snacks. Well, I mean, you're not getting healthy snacks at fast food.
I pack all my stuff. And like, so this has been a big contentious point in our marriage.
Oh my goodness. You guys have made it through.
For our honeymoon, we didn't go on a really extensive one because remember Paul was like still doing the fire department things.
Oh yeah.
But he had to wait, it was a whole thing. You had to kind of be in the area. So we just went to the Finger Lakes.
Okay.
And so when we got a limo for our wedding, I bought all these Wegman subs for everybody.
Oh,
so
yeah.
well, I just packed those up and I was like, this will be perfect for a little road trip. You want a little lunch on the way to the Finger Lakes. We made a couple stops. We did whatever.
What was your first married fight?
No, well, maybe because it was like hours in. No, but he was like, no, we stop and we get Arby's. And I'm like, oh my God. So then his cooler full of subs.
I love
He's
Arby's.
like, I can't believe you packed those up from the limo. And I'm like,
from our wedding a few days ago.
They're Wegman subs. I'm not throwing these out.
No, you're not. Did you have Bandit by then? No. So you couldn't even feed him to the dog.
No Bandit yet. No, we fed him to the Katie. I'm like, I'm eating the Wegman subs. Oh, Tamara thinks a co-pilot helps.
Okay.
Jeanette says they stop, but she brings food or something healthy for the car. Ooh,
Yeah.
combos are a must when driving, but don't eat too much. You don't have to go when you're driving. That's part of the thing too. Like if
I don't mind driving by myself.
Tina says pack food, stop at a rest stop to eat.
Sometimes the rest stops, like in New York, they've been worked on
Yeah.
for I think years now, and there'll be one restaurant open.
Mm.
I stopped in there the last time I was on the throughway, like whatever, east of Rochester. And I was like, oh, I'm so hungry. I can't wait to. Oh my goodness. It was like one Starbucks. The line was like a mile long.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Aaron's going to go find a vending machine because I'm not standing here for an hour.
Barbara says no stopping for food. Pepsi and goldfish crackers.
Oh, I like that.
Diane's packing snacks. She'll stop for a picnic. Kelly says stops and get food because she has to be. That happens to, yeah. So if I'll be the same way. Like I try to just like go, but then I'll drink like a Diet Pop on the way, and I'm like, oh God, now I have to stop. Or drink a lot of water.
Yeah, we're not doing a road trip together.
Well, it's only have to go every 5 seconds, but like at some point I do have to stop.
Paul and I can do it. We can go to fast food places and
Eat a bunch of garbage. Yeah. Tracy loves the Finger Lakes.
I love the thing. I thought Seneca Lake was beautiful when I went there last year.
Oh, Michael loves. Oh, it's so nice. It's beautiful out there. Michael loves
Can't go wrong with the
Twizzlers
Twizzlers.
for road trips. Anita says, I always put my kids on fluid rations prior to these trips to limit all the
Like
stops.
that, fluid rations.
Fluid rations.
I see you're
I'm
standing, and
I want to
I know
stand. I'm
why.
sorry.
These chair. How do you sit here all morning? Like this desk is so low.
Yeah.
But
But if you stand, your head's leaving the
yeah, I
frame.
know. I have no. I'm
You're gonna look
stuck here.
ridiculous.
Like giant melon.
Howard
No.
says he cannot see us doing a good road trip together.
Well, we could talk about the retirement stuff for the first 10 minutes, and then be like, do you have a podcast you can listen to with some earbuds in
Aaron
there?
would be like, have you heard about this new thing they call podcasts? And I'd be like, okay, Grandpa.
Say, look, I found one. Here's my flip phone. Can you pull this up for me?
I'd be like, hey, let's listen to Kenny Chesney. And then you'd be like, now
Get
let's
your
listen to
hands off the
Clutch.
radio.
Now let's
Yeah.
listen to Kenny Chesney. I have a lot to say about your driving too. Not just yours, everybody's.
I'm like a
I know
super
you
slow
are.
driver.
You are.
Yeah.
You always are a slow driver. But Paul, I'm always like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not racing someone to the stoplight. That's what I always tell my kids when they're like, hey,
But does your wife say stuff when you're driving?
Oh, and when we were in Miami?
No, like anytime.
Maybe. I don't
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. I got my podcast
How
on.
How about everybody who's joining us? Your significant others have comments on your drive. Paul and I both think each other's the worst driver.
Oh.
Only I'm right. But
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Miami is like when we were driving there a couple weeks ago, holding on to that thing on the top, and I'm like, dude, what do you want me to do? Everyone passing me going 90 miles per hour. I'm like literally going the speed limit, slightly above it.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm standing still. Like, so here's some earbuds
I
and a
know,
podcast that Katie found. Yeah.
people fly in Florida. Those Florida drivers. Or then you've got one who's like right ahead of you going 30, and you're like, oh my God,
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
what
crash into this.
Because I'll be
person.
like, all right, I'm in the middle lane and we're going fine. And then you get behind somebody who, like you said, on
Yeah.
Interstate
yeah.
95 in South Florida, you cannot be going 60 miles per hour in the 70.
They'll,
And
yeah.
I'm like, you got to go around this person. No, don't pass him. I'm like, this is how you die, is when you are going below the speed limit on the street.
Michael says he always gets yelled at when he drives. Anita calls it the Jesus bar. You know, you like, hold on.
She calls it that too. And I'm like, can you?
Apparently I have big reactions for things. Like I'm like, oh,
Yes. And I'm like, what?
what?
They're braking a mile ahead of us. I see that. Yes.
When you see brake lights, you put your brakes on.
Yeah, thanks. I'm the one driving. I see them. Put your podcast in, and here's a
When they break you,
sleep thing that you can put on your eyes. Yeah. I'm siding with Paul on that one, I think.
Oh my
I was going to side
God.
with you, but now I think Paul might be correct.
oh, that's so funny. Okay, Jeanette says she actually drives the speed limit. I'm sure all of you puppies have passed me because I'm the grandma driver.
I'm the
Anita
grandpa
says she
driver.
can imagine my
I get it,
reactions. I
yeah.
get them from my mom though. My mom does the same thing. Like she'll drop something. She's like, oh, and I'd be like, what? She's like, I just dropped this. I'm the same way now though.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I mean, if there's a person running across the interstate, you can make your screechy noises. But otherwise,
And I will. I'll
stay in your lane.
in your lane. Kelly says her husband always says, stop doing that. It must be a thing that we do.
Facts.
Maybe if they weren't such bad drivers, we wouldn't have to. And that ends this second cup. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been a real pleasure.
Always get the last word in, don't you?
Have a great day.